Alright, soldiers, listen up. A fellow settler needs our help. He's under attack by a raiding party. We need to ride out and help him defeat them. Everyone ready? Let's go! Alright, so from what I understand, Robbie had bad omen and went to Daniel's base where he has some kind of village set up, and as a result of that triggered a raid. And, well, as it turns out, Robbie and Daniel weren't prepared for a raid. Both of them died, and Daniel can't actually respawn because they're near his bed. So I've gathered up a small party of fellow settlers to go and help him out, and I hear that there's a mending book in it for each of us. Alright, we're nearly there, but we've got a bit of a problem of our own at the moment. Ugh, stupid phantoms. Someone sleep, please. Alright, enemies sighted. Get them! Oh, someone's down. Ow! What the... Oh no! What the heck? The range on that thing! And it packs quite a punch too. Ugh. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 on the Settlecraft server. In the last episode we made the starter house that you can see behind me, and in this episode we're going to be working on the interior as well as building some farms. Quite a bit has been happening on the server since the last episode. The Nether has now been unlocked, and there's a number of new buildings that have gone up, some of which seem to be inspired by my house, which is really great to see. So while we do have an enchanting station over here, and I have begun work on the basement down here, we don't actually have anything else really in the house at the moment. So it's time to get to work on that, and I think the first thing that we're going to do is the storage system. It's not going to be anything too complicated to begin with, it's just going to be some chests up here on the top floor. So to get to work on that, I have some chests, and I'm just going to start putting them in here in rows of, I think I'll make them 3 or 4 high. Now, while I did consider whether or not to use the new barrels as they are kind of more medieval, at the end of the day, it's just easier to use chests because you can have 2 of them next to each other and have a double chest. All right, we've now got 40 chests total. Don't ask me what exactly I'm going to put where because I have no idea yet. Man, I never realized how many sticks you needed for item frames. Okay, so I am going to put item frames on all of these chests so that I know what's inside them. But if it does become too laggy, I may have to take them down because these are entities. Alright, there we go, perfect. Alright, while I'm not entirely sure what's going to go where just yet, you can be assured that there will be a number of chests that are just filled with cobblestone. Okay, so now I'm going to throw down a crafting table in the center and put an ender chest on top of that. Which reminds me, I do actually have to get a Silk Touch pickaxe. Oh, this is my first ender chest, by the way. Let's put some of those valuables inside. And then we have these other little bits and pieces that were added in 1.14, 2 of which do not actually do anything, but they might make for a nice decoration. So let's see, where should we put those? Okay, so for now I've just put them off to the sides here. I'm going to place my bed down here in the center of the room, and I'm going to use the cartography table like a nightstand. And I'm just going to chuck a lantern on top of that. I'm hearing Enderman. Oh. Get out of my house, you. He's not even attacking me. Oh, well, you could have dropped an ender pearl at least. Ugh. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is get to work on the downstairs portion of the house, but the first thing I have to do is deal with the fact that we are using a wooden door, which can be broken down by zombies as we are playing on hard difficulty. And so to deal with that, what I'm going to do is just dig down 3 blocks, and then I'm just going to use some carpet, like so, to prevent any mobs from being able to get inside the building, because they will not recognize this as a valid block that they can walk over. And so I believe the zombies won't even try to break down the door, as they won't be able to pathfind to the player. Okay, next up, I just want to put a chest here so that I can throw any junk that I have on me when I get back to my house down. I'm also going to put in an armor stand just so that I can take off my gear and leave it by the door if I want to, like so. Next up is the centerpiece of our base. I'm going to dig down, oops, 2 blocks? No, that was too many, I think. Luckily, I have 1 bit of cobblestone. You can see we've still got our livestock down there, but I have passive mob sounds turned off because they're way too noisy. I'm going to throw down a campfire here, and then I'm going to add a cauldron on top of it. And the reason for this is because in this style of medieval house, usually at the center, you had a cooking space. And it would usually involve some kind of cauldron over a campfire. And so that's what we've got here. To give us an infinite water source, what I'm going to do is remove the cobblestone blocks around the cooking area. And I'm just going to put in some cobblestone stairs. And I believe I can waterlog these and get a nice, natural-looking infinite water source. Excellent. Guys, if you want to keep your foxes, you're going to need to build the pen taller than this. There are some chickens wandering around that somebody has created, and yeah, to avoid this turning into another drama, I'm going to go and kill them. Oop, quickly. Okay, let's throw some brewing stands down here. Brewing potions is the primary reason that I needed the infinite water sources. And then let's put in a couple of barrels on either side to fill with all of the materials that we will need for brewing. And all right, that's probably... Oh, I know what we need next. Uh-oh. It seems like our roof is leaking. Maybe I'll have to put some half slabs up the top. Okay, now I'm just going to add in some blast furnaces here. And I'm going to put a smoker in the middle, because we probably won't use that all that much. And just some standard furnaces over here. And that should be everything that we need to add that we're going to use. I think now all we have to do is add a little bit of lighting. Oddly enough, if there's one place where torches actually fit in, it would be a medieval build, but I prefer to use the lanterns all the same. So I'm just going to take out all of the torches and just find the places where the lanterns fit best. I think I'm going to add some rafters for the top story that I can hang some lanterns off. Okay, I'm not 100% sold on that. I think we'd probably have to add some additional detail to it, but it'll do for now. I just hope that everything is sufficiently lit up. All right then, guys. It's one of my least favorite things to do in Minecraft, but it is now finally done. I have my first storage system set up here in the top story of my base. I am missing a couple of the blocks I have reserved chests for, so they've just got signs instead of item frames on. But yeah, you know, take a look if you want to use this as the basis for your storage system. There's nothing too complicated about it. And that should be all that we need to really get us started. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to go down into these basements, which I dug out in between episodes. It's not very interesting stuff. And we're going to create just a few starter farms just to keep us going. Whoops. To keep us going throughout the early days of the server. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be putting together are the most basic of animal farms, one for cows, one for sheep, and one for pigs. But I have just realized that, yeah, I need to make this room taller. Okay, that is now done. Don't worry about the aesthetics. I'll clean that up later. Now we can start to put together the very basics of this farm. So for those of you who don't know, the way these farms work is pretty simple. Essentially, you have adult livestock standing on top of the trapdoor, which you can see down here. Then, when the button is pushed, Then, when the button is pushed, it dispenses water, and the livestock bob up and down, which makes them very easy to breed. The babies then fall down here, and once they grow up, well, that's when you get out the sword. So you might be wondering, how does one get a whole bunch of adult cows into a 1x1? And the answer is water streams. So if I just take out this cobblestone block and I place in a water bucket here, you'll see that's going to direct them nicely into this 1x1. I hope, at least. Let's give it a go. So funnily enough, we already have a couple of cows up here because when I was replacing the ceiling with cobblestone, a few of them fell through. So if I just open up an area here, we have to go down a few blocks. We should be able to just herd them in here. And there we go. I hope I'm in the right spot. I am. All right, let's see if we can lure these cows in. Down, into the hole. In you go. Come on. There we go. Almost there. Get in the hole. There we go. All right, let's see what's going on in here. Okay, we do not want sheep in with cows. I'm not sure how they were able to get in here. I think it may have been because there was a fence post, a ladder, I should say, over there. But yeah. Okay, let's just... Down you go. All right, I'm going to try and push this last cow in. But yeah, it's probably not... Ah, there we go. See? Perfect. I knew that would work. Oh. It looks like we lost a few. That's not good. Okay, so if I just throw down a button and give it a press, you'll be able to see how exactly this works if I just get out some wheat. Oh, they really don't bob as much as they used to. But it looks like it still works. And there we go. We got a few baby cows down the bottom. Oh man, this one, oh dear. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on here, but these sheep are being far more troublesome than the cows were. They just don't want to get in the hole. So far I've managed to get 2 in there, but all right, I think I'm just going to leave them to do their thing. We'll come back later. All right then, we're going to be leaving this slaughter dungeon for a little bit, and we're going to be making just a basic crop farm up the top here. Now, the way that this is going to work is that the back wall is going to be lined with dispensers filled with water buckets, and they are just going to dispense water that will push the crops into some hoppers down the end. Oh, and I should also say that I'm going to use waterlogged upper slabs in order to keep the soil hydrated, so that then you don't have to worry about seeing like that disgusting little 1 pixel high gap when you turn the dirt into farmland. All right, let's throw a chest in here. That's working. And then let's put the hoppers in here. Just need some bows from some skeletons for some more dispensers. All right, I've now got all of the dispensers that I need, so I'm just going to chuck them all in here. And then what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to put the switch here. So I'm just going to go back around behind the dispensers. And then I'm just going to run a redstone line all the way over to the block where I want to put the switch. Okay, now if I just throw a repeater in there, and then we take this redstone line here, we put down a bit of cobblestone here, put that on top, and now if we place a button there, and it works. Now we just got to fill up all the dispensers. Okay, let's test the full thing. And there we have it. Let's get some crops in here. Okay, so it turns out I only have 1 actual potato left, and that's the one on here, so I guess I'm gonna have to get some bone meal and make a few more. Now I have just realized that because of the width of this room, this middle row will not hydrate. So to fix that, I'm just going to take out... this is what happens when you have efficiency 5 on your shovel. I'm just going to take out the middle bit of farmland, and I'm going to hydrate it using a slab like that. All right, now that I've got all those planted, I'm actually going to go to the nether because I'm going to replace that final row with soul sand and put some nether wart on it. I don't use a lot of nether wart because I don't make a lot of potions, but we do need to have at least some supply. Oh, I always hate going to the nether. I'm always worried I'm going to lose my stuff. This is why I'm walking around with iron tools. Props to whoever put together this nice little sheltered path that takes us straight to the nether fortress. Ah, I hate ghasts. Oh, there we go. Finally. But yeah, I don't like our chances of finding nether wart. Why bother looking in the nether for nether wart when you can just steal some from your fellow players? Thanks, Cullen. Alright, perfect. Alright, let's go down here now and see... yeah, those sheep still aren't in there. And there's still only the 2 that were there before. I guess we're gonna have to troubleshoot this. So what I think I'm gonna do is just expand the enclosure so that I can then have water streams going from every corner inwards towards the 1x1. Alright, this seems to be making progress. We just need to get one more water bucket over there. Alright then, there we go. Last one. And they're all in. Perfect. Okay, so if you have the same problem that I did, no idea why it was an issue with the sheep but not the cows, yeah, that's the setup that you have to have in order to get them into the 1x1. So I was doing some maintenance at spawn when I discovered that some horses had spawned. Now, I needed a horse, as you know, that was the primary form of transportation in the medieval era, so I decided to go and tame one. That all worked out well enough, but then I remembered after some failed attempts that you can't actually put a horse in a boat. But not to worry, there's a nether portal at Daniel's highly illegal iron farm. Seriously, don't go building a farm in the spawn chunks, thank you. So I rushed over towards the iron farm and then ended up in the exact place that I did not want to end up. After some panicky block breaking, I finally managed to find the portal, got the horse through the nether, and wound up at Daniel's base where I found that the horse was taking damage. Not to worry though, I can bypass claims. So with my horse safely back at the medieval settlement, I rode him back to my house, moving some obstacles along the way. When I finally got back to my house, I did what I'd been doing with animals all day. I put him in a hole. Though the horse will probably come back out of this one. Oh, and then Riley showed up and threw a bunch of mending books at me. So that was nice. Well, that's all I've got time for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Nice.